Turn it back up.
Ready. Oh, it's a wet night. It's a wet night at Hume City. Hello and welcome to your sound check from Barry Road in Broadmeadows. This is Steve on mic number 1. Hello and welcome to you. Welcome to you, the listener. Keep going. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's just check out the rain radar. Yep, it is not looking good. Let's go with the other mic. 1, 2, 1, 2. Assuming we use this one, Dan may bring his own. We've switched to, but for all intents and purposes, this sounds like it's coming through all right on mic number 2. This is Dan's mic. Good evening. 1, 2, 1, 2. National Stadium says a big hello to you. Stay warm tonight.
Are you still dry there? What about water? Let's go with it.
Respect the rights, dignity, and worth of every person, regardless of their race, colour, religion, language, politics, national or ethnic origin. Do not engage in the use of violence in any form, whether it is by other spectators, team officials, including coaches or players. Do not engage in discrimination, harassment, or abuse in any form, whether lawful or otherwise, including but not limited to the use of obscene or offensive language or gestures. The incitement of hatred or violence or partaking in indecent or racist shelter. You must comply with these conditions of entry at all times and any ticket conditions. You must not carry live or throw flares or missiles, including onto the field of play or at spectators. Do not enter the field of play or its surroundings without lawful authority, and conduct yourself in a manner that enhances rather than injures the reputation of football, Football Victoria, Football Federation of Australia, and football generally. Any person who does not comply with the code, or who, in the opinion of the club and or Football Victoria, causes or attempts to cause, or is reasonably likely to cause a disturbance, may be evicted from the venue and banned from attending future matches held on behalf of Football Victoria. Any offender who then breaches the ban order against them may be charged with trespass and subject to further penalties and sanctions, including the possibility of further legal action. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Well, good evening, Hume City fans, and welcome to National Stadium, the home of Hume City FC. Tonight, we're going to battle against Dandenong City, and we need you and the Red White Army to bring the noise and support the boys as they fight for the 3 points. Before we get into the action, we'd like to take a moment to thank our amazing sponsors who make nights like these possible. Naciol, Palermo Perfumes, Zubi Finance, Chenol, The Graham Hotel, Tech Foods, Clearview Windows, Grand Foods, Mac Build, Straight Line, Aviso Specialty, Boss Signs, AS Lodge Tennis Courts, RFH Stone, Roxburgh Park Hotel, State Claims, Sultan Halal Meat and Small Goods, Altenbush, Brody Motors, Checkclad, Diakos, Optimum Building Services, Plasticor, Portable Industries, Prestige Panel Beaters, Rectify, Sahara, Shener Bessim, Social Fair, Ultratube, Waste Sets, and last of all, Westwood Wheels and Tyres. And of course, a massive thank you to you, the fans, for being here tonight. Whether you're a long-time supporter or it's your first time at Hume City Football Club, we appreciate your passion and support. Now let's meet the starting 11 for your Hume City FC. Number 20 in goals, Damon Camilleri. Number 2, Joseph Ford. Number 6, Aaron Reardon. Number 7, Lloyd Isgrove. Number 9, Godfrey DeBelle. Number 10, Berkan Kurda. Number 12, Mark Ochang. Number 14, Harry Ashcroft. Number 21, Josh O'Kane. Number 23, Asen Ishak. And number 45, Rob Harker. SC and Dandenong City.
Steve, how are you, mate?
Good. Got a seat here right for you.
Good on you. I've been here a bit. I just didn't know where you were. I kept looking and looking.
Sorry about that.
A bit old, mate.
That's that last step.
Good job. Have you? Yeah. I've got my own mic too. Before I've got your own setup, have you, Jay?
1-2, 1-2. Not just another week at Broadmeadows. Hume City severing ties with coach Rick Marchioli in a story that sent shockwaves around Victorian football when it broke yesterday afternoon, with the rumoured replacement, former favourite son Nick Hegarty, not likely to be available to take the reins for another couple of weeks. They step into this genuine top 6 pointer clash on rocky footings despite their good performances this season so far in both the league and cup. And leading the chasing pack outside of the top 6, it is Dandenong City here tonight, hungry for finals football in Victoria's top flight for a second year running. And they arrived tonight after the most dramatic defeat in a rollicking Dandy derby last week against the Thunder last Friday night. Hello and welcome to Nassiel Stadium, coming to you on the NPL Victoria live stream. Friday night football in round 17 of the competition. My name is Steve Curtin, and it's my pleasure tonight to be joined by the great Dan Lonergan. Good evening, Dan.
G'day, Steve. Lovely to be here. Got a question for you. You've followed and probably called more of the world game than I have. When you win 24 or 44 games, stretched over just over a year and a half, because they had a good year last year, Hume, and got as far as a preliminary final, and then, of course, got beaten by the team that had won the premiership in South Melbourne after an outstanding performance to win the first final. And their record this year, I know they've conceded as many goals as they've scored, 8, 5 and 3. It's a pretty good record. Why would you sack your coach?
Some of these decisions, they might defy some of the logical thought patterns that you or I might have. There might be other reasons that lie in the background, but certainly a favourite son of the club, Nick Hegarty, set to return to Australia, and we believe the good oil is that he's been lined up for the job, as we'll continue the coaching conversations as well, because Nick Tolios is not on the sidelines for Dandenong City tonight either, after being given a third yellow card last week in the Dandy derby, when that match got a little heated. So
where's he? Is he here?
He's in the stands. We've got Jordan. We've got Jordan behind the camera tonight. He's going to zoom in if he can see Nick Tolios sitting in the stands. Maybe he's up there behind the glass, keeping warm. But we are underway here, round 17, NPL Victoria Friday night football. Hume City in their all red kit, playing to the left of your screen, the city end or the Moonee Ponds Creek end of the venue. They've got the breeze behind their backs, that's for sure. And it's the change strip tonight for Dandenong City, the white shirt with the blue shorts and blue socks. There's no change to that Hume side that had a great 3-2 win against their rivals against their rivals Green Gully last Friday night. And there's 3 changes to the Dandenong City side, and they could be off to a bad start here, because Lino, who's come in at left back to replace the suspended Corey Sewell. Corey Sewell and Gaku Anaba both getting red cards in the derby last week. He's gone down awkwardly here, Dan, and we'll catch this on the replay screen to see if we can make some sense of what's happened here. It was in the very opening exchanges of the contest on a cold and blustery night at Broadmeadows.
I hope I've got enough clothes on. I know you said you're going to rug up. You look like you have. You've got your beanie on. I didn't bring a beanie. When you're bald, it doesn't help, does it? But generally the players do get up, don't they? I know they might get injured, and they might look like they're writhing in pain or agony. I'm not saying that they're faking it, but they do get up and they do tend to recover, don't they?
Yeah.
Except, of course, if it's time to call a sub, which generally happens in the second half or sometimes at half time.
And it's good to see Lino, he's back up on his feet. Just the way he went down, there was a slight delay. It wasn't in the actual initial contact or the initial first 1 or 2 seconds of the phase of play almost. It was almost a little bit delayed. He's back up on his feet. He's moving well out there too. Now the players both sets of players warmed up on the number 2 pitch here because we had the under-23s played on this pitch as a curtain raiser, and that match ran through until about 8:20, and we're kicking off here at 8:30 local time. So one of the unusual things, you don't see that too often, but Lloyd Isgrove is going to try and find a way into the penalty area here. So we'll look at those changes to that Dandenong City team, Dan. So coming in to replace Gaku Inaba, who's been really good in central defence, the Japanese defender for Nick Tolios Society's replaced by Nathan Hancock, who got a couple of minutes off the bench last week, so good to see him back. Jackson Lino coming in at left back for Corey Sewell. And there is another change in the front 3 as well, which caught us maybe a little off guard, as Valley Sesnick, who's been a super sub of late. He's been very handy off the bench, just about won the game off his own boot a couple of weeks ago against St Albans at Churchill Reserve. He starts in the front 3, and that means that Will Bauer, who's also been an informed player on the left wing, he drops to the bench tonight for Dandy City.
Well, he scored 3 goals, Will Bauer, so maybe a little bit of a surprise as Robert Harker was trying to get involved there for the Hume City team.
Well, speaking of players that have scored 3 goals, Rob Harker's been in good goal-scoring form. 3 goals in the last fortnight for him.
Oshieng gets the ball deep just outside the 18-yard area, cleared by Dandenong City, who went down to Hume City earlier in the year 3-1. In a round 4 encounter when Hume City were unbeaten after 5 games. When I say they dropped the next 4, they didn't win any of their next 4. And then they've been okay in the past 7, yet they sacked their coach. I mean, we see it in football all the time. I know the Italian clubs in particular, Steve, they are brutal with a capital B. Absolutely brutal. And we see it, of course, at the Carlton Football Club and their band of Italian supporters who want the coach sacked every time they struggle. And we know the Blues have struggled a lot this year in the AFL. But, yeah, it's an unbelievable move when you win 24 from 44. That's a good record in football because you can draw a lot of games, but they've won those games. And I'm still shocked. But anyway, we're underway here in Ashang of Hume City, hoping to eventually impress the new coach, Nick Hegarty, who I'm sure might be looking at this game on the stream, or he might be...
Yeah, hello, Nick, if you're tuning in the UK.
If you're tuning in, and how long have you known that you'd be the coach? Let us know, please. We'd love to hear from you.
Too bad we don't have the comments these days on the live stream. We hope you're enjoying this. We're so wild and woolly conditions here at Broadmeadows tonight. Steve Curtin and Dan Lonergan with you. 5 minutes into this one, and neither side has fired a shot in anger yet. Here's Josh O'Kane, who's been one of the shining lights, the metronome in defensive midfield. Great through ball last week to set up one of those goals for Rob Harker. Precise through ball, splitting through the passing lane, finding his attacker. Here's Giannakopoulos, the number 6 at right back. Webster, he's had a suspension himself a couple of weeks ago in that match against St Albans, so they've been having to rotate the central defenders, and here's Hancock, the man coming into the starting 11 in the orange boots and the man bun at the back of the scone there, and Lambertarides receives from Danny Kim, and they're going to bring the ball down the right-hand side here to Sesnick. Ali Sesnick getting his first start for some weeks in the team. Jamie Latham, another one of those informed players. The number 8, he was doing some shadow boxing in the warm-ups, Dan, as they were preparing for this one, was Jamie Latham. And, well, if there was ever a player doing a bit of shadow boxing or potentially real boxing, Jamie Latham would be one of the first players in the comp you might suspect.
He's a good Welsh boy, isn't he, Steve? So they do like the shadow boxing, the Welsh, in a nice way, of course. Not trying to be disparaging at all. As Dandenong City, they kick into bodies. Was it off hands unintentionally?
Off the referee there.
Off the referee, was it? Right.
Our referee tonight, Will Quartermain, who's a referee educated from Ballarat. He's got the large frame in the way of the football there. It's going to be a drop ball to get us going again with Webster. Is the rules as of the last couple of years with that rule change. The ball hits the match official. It is now a drop ball and offered in favour of whoever was deemed to have been in possession. In the old days, it was just treat the referee like they were the goalpost and play on off the back of the thighs if he struck the referee. Not anymore.
Yeah, I actually prefer the old rule. What do you think, Steve? Just play on.
So I haven't been too upset with the rule change that they've gone with in the IFAB laws of the game. Here's Lambatarides. He's got a decent left peg on him, and that shot was blocked by Ishak. It falls to Mark Oshieng down in the corner. He's going to send this one long up the line on the left foot. He is by trade a right back, but he's been shuffled across to make way for Joseph Ford at right back, so showing his versatility and his ability to use the left foot and play long at the back post here. Knotted down by Yagub Mustafa, who's starting out on the left wing tonight. We've seen him traditionally starting on the right, but the return of Vali Sesnik has seen a switch of position as well for Yagub Mustafa. So plenty of possession being enjoyed here by Dandenong City. And that was the news when we arrived. Nick Tolios up in the stand. So Bill Theodoropoulos is acting as the main man in the technical area tonight, and he's assisted by Tommy Gavran. And Tommy, you'll see him down there. He's in the moon boot and the lower leg brace, so he's not too mobile. So probably a good call to give the reins to Bill Theodoropoulos, and his assistant Tommy Gavran is on the mend there from his recent surgery, and we wish him a speedy recovery.
And who's looking after Hume, Steve?
So we've got, good question, we've got Halil Hussein has stepped in, so he was the second assistant coach behind Jono Clemente, who has also departed the club, along with his senior compatriot Rick Marchioli. That news breaking yesterday, and well, yeah, it's hard to process that news when it came through yesterday. I know we were talking yesterday, and yeah, when the story broke, quite a few shocks, and it was only the day before that those two gentlemen who have departed the club had featured in an article about their coaching prowess as two of the best young managers in Australian football, and having...
So Clemente and Marchioli, they were a pair together, were they? They were a team, is that right?
Yeah.
One's gone, the other's gone with him?
As is often happens, last year we saw David Chick coaching the second half of the season here after Cam Watson had departed the club. Yeah, right. So the coaching changes are often happening thick and fast here out at Broadmeadows, as we've seen midway through last season. But they've managed to defy the odds and still, as you said, make the finals, beat Heidelberg in a penalty shootout last year in finals football, and go on and only lose narrowly to South Melbourne in the semi-final. And at the moment, again, despite their woes off the field with the change of coaching being a regular fixture out here, they're looking like they're in the box seat to play finals football, especially if they can get a win tonight. But not only that, on Tuesday they'll play Nunawading City for a spot in the National Round of 32 in the Australia Cup, as Vali Sesnik is making trucks down the right-hand side. Still he goes, Vali Sesnik, looking in the middle, and it's beaten everyone. Lambatarides gives chase. Oh, it was like the cutback by Riley McGree the other night, last night for Aziz Bayic there, just about, Dan. But there was no Aziz Bayic, who has incidentally played at this club back in 2010. He was not available in the penalty area there.
No, he wasn't. They're a bit ordinary again last night, Australia, but they found a way. As this time a lobbing ball. Hancock misses it. A chance for a goal here, but terrific save. He was on the right side to make sure that he was able to put a stop on there, Pierce Clark. Very, very good as they were pouncing down the right-hand side, the Hume City team, but a magnificent save by Pierce Clark, the right goal post, and he was able to thrust his boot over the byline. So the first corner kick of the night as the rain continues to make its presence felt here.
Well, it was a tight angle. You can see the confidence that Rob Harker has at the moment. He felt that he was going to score from that tight angle. Pierce Clark, well, he used his legs, kept the legs together. It's going to be in by Kerdar to the top of the 6-yard box. There's some appealing going on from the boys in white shirts.
He's a big man, Harker, isn't he? But gee, he was thundering down that right-hand side, and it was a good piece of work by Clark to, as I say, be covering the right goal post.
Yeah, you feel like we're just starting to see the best of Rob Harker, a really good off-season recruit out of the UK for this Hume City side. Plenty of options in attack as well. And got DeBellet up there as well. Lloyd Isgrove on the flanks. Josh Bingham on the bench.
He's a good player, Josh Bingham. He's played at Central Coast and Wollongong Wolves. This is a curling ball. The attempted scissor kick by Hume City. Cleared at the back, though, by Dandenong City. And there's going to be a free kick going the way of the team in white and blue.
Well, I think Webster's been cleaned up by that attempt for the spectacular from central defender of all players to be going for the overhead, Harry Ashcroft, who's had an eye for goal this season, has the big defender. He's played every single minute for Hume City, hasn't missed a minute, and he's managed to score 3 goals as well. He's a player who's also on 4 yellow cards, so we will need to watch out because he might face a suspension. And just as I mentioned that, Dan, it looks like he has picked up a card for that contact. It was a very lengthy delay between the incident and the showing of the card, but if my records are correct there, that's a 5th yellow card for Harry Ashcroft, which would see him miss next week. However, with that cup game on Tuesday night, you fancy he will serve that against Nunawading City in that match out at Marnie's Reserve, which you are allowed to do. You can serve your 1-game suspension for 5 yellow cards in the midweek cup game if you're lucky enough to have one, and then you can be back for NPL Victoria round 18 next week, which is another big one against Altona Magic, another must-win game for Hume City if they want to stay and remain in the top 6.
Even though, of course, the cup campaign's important, the NPL title is more important, isn't it? So if you don't want to miss, and Harry hasn't missed any minutes, as you said, this year, Steve, but if he is to miss something, he can miss that.
Particularly against a lower-ranked opponent like Nunawading City, who are outside the top flight of the competition. Yeah,
which does help, doesn't it, as the ball makes its way just briefly inside the attacking half for Dandenong City, and then it rolls down again. Pierce Clark having some work to do. He's come across from Dandenong Thunder. So one local Dandenong team to another. This club, of course, originally was the Parkdale Hajduk or Croatian Soccer Club, and then became Chelsea Soccer Club.
Oh, that's a good ball by Latham.
Good through ball, and here's the chance down the right-hand side. Mustafa, can he do something here? Good defence, though, at the back by Hume, and they manage to clear and they get it inside their attacking half again. Webster was appealing, saying that a player's down at the other end inside the 18-yard attacking half for the Hume City team. Defending at that end of the ground.
Well played by Aaron Reardon to nip in there. You'll see it on the replay. Just managed to jump in and put his body between Kenny Athu and the football. Those hits they always hurt. They always sting a bit more on a night as cold as this. It's 11 degrees as we kick off, but with the wind chill tonight, it probably feels, it's probably not much more than 4 or 5 degrees in reality.
Well, winter's certainly hit. We know we had that Indian summer, didn't we?
Oh, what a good season we had, good conditions we had over autumn. Perfect weather, hardly any rain, hardly any wind as well.
The first half of the season. So Bresnan hasn't had a lot to do so far. He gets it inside the attacking half for his team, Hume City. Get a couple of cracks at it. Work down. And Isgrove, lovely through ball. Player nearly brought down. I thought that should have been going the way of Burkar, who scored 4 times. He's come across from Dandenong Thunder as well. Nice header by Hume and the defenders. They look at each other, Webster and also Hancock, and say, well, who's going to go for it? Luckily at the back, Pierce Clark was awake to the situation and he's able to clean it up just outside the 18-yard penalty area with the score 0-0, and we're 15 minutes into the first half. Our stream match tonight, Dan Lonigan. It's a great pleasure to be with one of the great commentators, Steve Curtin, in the NPL Premier competition on the stream for this important match between two teams looking to play in finals against 6th and 7th on the ladder respectively.
It was, looking back on the replay, really well-timed challenge by Nathan Hancock, who's enjoying being back out there even on a night like this where the challenging conditions. Celebrated his 26th birthday last week, did Nathan Hancock, one of the New South Wales-born players in this particular fixture here. His head has gone straight to Burkhan Kurdar here, and Lloyd Isgrove is going to try and put a ball into the box here. He gets the cross in on the left peg over the top of Dembele's head. He had a good vertical leap, but he couldn't make contact with the football. And Yaqub Mustafa has had the passing lane closed down there, but he can play a little 1-2 with Lino and get himself out of trouble here, Mustafa. Danny Kim in the middle of the park with the gloves on. Sensible call tonight, and up the line by Lino, up towards King Kenny, who was beaten in the air by Ashcroft. And this is Reardon. So Hume's turn to try and control the tempo a little bit here. Just looking at that Hume team on the bench tonight for Halil Hussein is Isaac Dreesen, Josh Bingham, Mehmet Usal, Michael Domfe, Aboira Eze, and Jason Quinakas. That's a loose one there from Ishak. And the subs available tonight for Dandy City: Brad Plant, Jordan Gassim, Diego Cuba, Tim Atherinos, Will Bauer, and the sub-keeper Matthew Murram. And Hume lining up with no change. Why change winning form? They have changed their coach, but they haven't changed their personnel out there in the starting 11 after that win against Green Gully. And a really important 3 points that was. It was Green Gully, another club who are chasing that top 6 spot. And while they're busy celebrating their 70th birthday anniversary of the famous Maltese club from Keilor Downs this evening over at Green Gully Reserve. We'll keep you across the scores in the other game as this one develops as well, because there's a bunch of kickoffs going on tonight across Melbourne. That particular match, Green Gully against Port Melbourne. We've also got Preston Lions against Heidelberg. That's a huge clash. St Albans against South Melbourne as well.
Local derby, of course, Preston and Heidelberg, Steve.
It was huge last time they met.
Yep.
That one was played at home, the Matildas, rather than Olympic Village. But this one is at BT Connor or Genesteel Stadium. Will be absolutely rocking there tonight. I would imagine there'd be 7,000 or 8,000 through the gates for that fixture. A huge crowd. And there's a few brave souls that have turned up here and entered the grandstand and the parameter of the pitch. But you can see most of the fans here, they're set up behind the glass. There's fantastic facilities in the warmth of the club rooms up there as Valley Cessnick looks to make an option to charge in the right-hand side here. Good low ball into the box, looking for Mustafa. It had a nice arc on it too, but even the pace of Mustafa, he wasn't able to chase the ball down. He's still in possession here. Lino providing the overlap. Jackson Lino looking for Athu, and it's away by Ashcroft.
It is. And Hancock's there, and it's seen over the line by Danny Kim, and it will be a Dandenong City ball inside the attacking half in front of the grandstand. There are some that are lucky enough to be inside the grandstand. That's the best spot to be. Webster with the ball as he approaches halfway, and they're under a little bit of pressure as they combine at the back now. Lambrabridis does well to combine with Webster again, but again good pressing by Curtis, forced back now. Curtis got the socks down, not many soccer players do. And good play by Clark to get it wide to Hancock. Hancock lobs the ball. Defensively cleared by Hume, only momentarily. Mustafa there. He loses control. Again, Hume down the right-hand side. Kim's got an opportunity. He's got Webster to beat, and he's able to swing it straight into the breadbasket of the goalkeeper, who is standing virtually in the middle there of the goal mouth. Well played by Pierce Clark again. And he's made a couple of important saves. The score still 0-0, 20 minutes in.
Well, second warning shot fired by Rob Harker there. Dandenong City really need to be alert to the danger of the informed striker. Pierce Clark's been equal to both of the attempts so far, but they can't allow the Englishman so many opportunities to be charging into the penalty area and pulling the trigger. There's a few raised voices out there at the moment, but we've got a goal kick given by our match official Will Quartermain, who's joined by Vince Turcarolo and Daphne Gunaris. The assistant referees. Max Hanlon is the fourth official, braving the elements down just in front of our broadcast position here between the technical areas. Pierce Clark knows he's playing into a stiff breeze and he's taking his time over the restart here, you fancy, Dan?
Yeah, it's a massive wind, isn't it? The trees are blowing profusely behind him, Steve, at the city end, as you said, and Clark will stab it and it just holds up. It's like the boomerang coming back.
And they all let it bounce.
It does, and it pitches well inside the attacking half still for Hume City, looking to clear it, but not getting enough on it on that occasion was Giannakopoulos for Dandenong City. It's taken again by Hume City, and they combine at the back, looking to find a through ball. Well played by Harker. He didn't get enough on it, and it's chipped away by Dandenong City. Through the middle of the park now. Loose ball. Here's an opportunity for big King Kenny. King Kenny, no, he didn't get enough on it. He was shoved into the ball, and he sort of just stabbed it along the carpet, and it's cleared at the back by Camilleri comfortably as he rolls onto it, with the score remaining at 0-0. I think big Kenny Athiu was on the right side of goal then, Steve, and was ready to launch, but there was good pressure by the defence of Hume City to ensure he couldn't get much on it.
Well, he must have really timed his run really well. The flag stayed down, and he wasn't able to make the most of his pace that he's blessed with to run in behind and fire a genuine attempt on Damon Camilleri's goal. Michael Weir still out of action, the #1 goalkeeper at Hume City with a hamstring injury, but hopefully we'll see Big Mike back soon. But it's been a really good opportunity for young Damon Camilleri, who debuted in the Cup win in round 6 of the Cup competition in the 3-2 come-from-behind win against the Oakley Cannons here a couple of midweeks ago. Play on's a call here. Kurta tries his luck and warms the palms of Pierce Clark. Well, when you've got the breeze behind you, that's smart play from Burkhan Kurta.
Well, they probably need to score at least once, don't they? And then just, dare I say it, park the bus in the second half, Hume, and try and get the result here, because they've got this massive breeze, and it is a big breeze. We don't normally say in the World Game, Steve, do we, that the wind can be a factor, but when you look at the trees down at the end that Hume are attacking, which is the city end, they are blowing. They're almost ready to blow off their branches, aren't they, and the trunks.
I'll have to go and check where we parked out in the car park, Dan, and make sure we're safe at half-time.
Well, we're the other side, aren't we? So we're going all right, I reckon.
Well, we await the taking of the corner kick here. It will be the in-swinger. It's away by Danny Kim. Doesn't beat the first man, so you get a chance for a mulligan here. In fact, there's an offside decision gone up. I'm not too sure about that one, but Dandenong City will be able to breathe a sigh of relief and instantly get the ball going in their direction.
He's doing well so far, Pierce Clark. He's had 3, gilt-edged saves. The second one was in the breadbasket. He took it comfortably. He had to thrust the boot at one from Harker, and the third one, Kurta, from long range with the breeze. Nearly got it past him. So he's doing a pretty good job to ensure that his team, into the breeze at the moment, have managed to keep it at 0-0. They've had 3 clean sheets this year, Dandenong City. Hume City just the one. Long ball down the side. Hume City, though, have scored regularly. It's been something that they've been very good at. Maybe their chairman, I don't know how much football he's played, but maybe their chairman wants more clean sheets. Anyway, the ball rolls around inside the attacking half at the moment for Hume City. They're under pressure as they have 1-on-2 against here. Dandenong City hustling hard and then getting back and doing some good defence is Mustafa. Mustafa now looking for Athiu, but he has 4 opponents around him, and they're happy to roll it back to Camilleri, who's the goalkeeper. Brings it out towards our broadcast side now, and doing well as Isgrove, but he can't control it properly, trying to trap it. Goes back now to Giancopoulos. And Lamprey Priadis does well to also go back, and he combines nicely with Webster, the skipper, and Hancock. Lamprey Priadis is there again, and just inside the defensive half. Webster and Hancock sharing, but pressing hard, all inside their attacking half at the moment. The team in red making it hard for them to get anything going here. Latham, a little ball now for Dandenong City. He receives again from Giancopoulos, and they go back now to the goalkeeper Clark, and he shares with Webster. But again, it's outstanding pressing inside the attacking half by Hume City, making it hard, Steve, for Dandenong City to get out of their defensive area.
Yeah, they look well organised, this Hume side, without the ball. And they're just waiting for that mistake, aren't they, so they can pounce. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see the likes of Burkhan Kurta try another one of those long shots, or even the likes of Harker, who's got a very powerful shot on him as the Englishman, to try and test out Pierce Clark from distance, because with the breeze behind your back, I've seen it before at the lower league levels. I saw it a couple of times on very windy Friday nights at Strathmore last year, with Essendon Royal scoring some goals from very long range from the likes of Dean Clark. It's almost some players out there that are specialists of playing with these gale force winds behind their back, and Burkhan Kurta was certainly alert to that with that earlier shot. Here's Harker with his back to goal, and it's Webster wearing him like a glove, and well played by the Dandy City captain, winning the ball back, but they've only gone as far as Oshiang, who picks up the loose ball. So it's a little bit scrappy at the moment, and understandably so in these tough conditions at Broadmeadows tonight. Here's Latham trying to bring some polish to the Dandenong City style of play tonight. Clever by Oshiang. Still he goes, Mark Oshiang. Danny Kim gets the foot in, and it's going to be a Hume City throw. And we say we're feeling the cold here. 11 degrees is the temperature, but The feels like level is 7 with the breeze. And Dan, there is a current, sheep and graziers warning current until Sunday at 12 a.m. So that's how cold it's got to here as winter is really starting to bite.
Well, the farmers need the rain, and we hope they get plenty of it. Our farmers in Victoria, as I said, they've had a very unseasonal warm autumn, and we haven't had enough rain. We're getting plenty of it mistling across this magnificent stadium, National Stadium here at Broadmeadows, the home of Hume City. Mistling rain is a great line from the foremost broadcaster in cricket, Jim Maxwell's good work there by Isgrove. He beat a couple of opponents and he was chasing the ball, hoping he could keep it alive before it made its way over the byline, but he was unsuccessful. It's still 0-0 as we make our way to the second half of the first half, if that makes any sense, as Clark gives it out wide to Hancock. Mustafa under some pressure there, looking for some support. Work hard, Mustafa. Now looking for Athiu, who gets in front of his opponent. May have almost been brought down. He was brought down at a challenge, a late challenge, and he did well. He's a big man, as we know. He's about 6'7"? He's huge, and he's done well to just get his boot in there, and then an opponent has come in late. It was a late call by referee Quartermain, but he's given the free kick to go the way of Dandenong City on the left-hand side. Steve?
Yeah, a little bit of a mistake from Aishan Ishak there, and I thought he might have seen the yellow card brandished his way as well. Just letting that ball run across his body and Kenny Athiu nipping in to take it, and then the subsequent sliding tackle taking down King Kenny. So it's going to be the set-piece opportunity here, taken quickly. Latham puts it into the back post area. Giannakopoulos trying to win the header, and it's a chance. Oh, it's been smashed by Kenny Athiu. A good technique on the volley, and it was narrowly over the crossbar. The first shot in anger fired by the visitors, and that wasn't too far away. So a warning shot into the breeze by Kenny Athiu.
He was a little bit off balance, wasn't he? I mean, it just sort of came in his direction. He just had to thrust the boot at it, as Kim does well to keep the header almost within the 18-yard penalty area, well inside the attacking half for Dandenong City. Working hard Isgrove, trying to create something for his team to give it to him. Little ball comes out wide from O'Kane, who's scored 3 times this year, as Steve mentioned, now at the right-hand side. Building nicely here, Hume City. Looking to come inside again. Little pass out wide again to Isgrove, to the top of the 18-yard area. Under some pressure. Kurta. Isgrove lobbing ball, but well done. Clark is there again, right in the teeth of goal, and he manages to take it cleanly and throws it out wide. And he's been very good, the goalkeeper of Dandenong City so far this particular evening, as trying to get involved was Latham, but Ishak came across his path. He was able to head it away to his own advantage, but puts the left footer over the sideline.
Yeah, well read by Aishan Ishak that time, making amends for his previous error that led to the set-piece opportunity and the subsequent shot from the second ball that Kenny Athiu fired over the bar, the first shot of the night for Dandenong City. Big thanks to Jordan behind the camera. He's really braving the elements to our right here. The breeze from the north is blowing straight in. We've got Chris here on stats as well, making note of that shot for Kenny Athiu. It's all the teamwork up here on the tower as well as out on the pitch at the moment.
I've never seen anything like it in my life. I normally come with my microphone to help good old Jordan and the others out, but Steve, you're as prepared as they come. I'm with the professional tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, Isgrove's ball. He's just gone back to Ishak. Oh, it's a great pleasure to be working with someone as experienced in world sports as yourself, Dan, this afternoon. I grew up listening to your commentary of the Olympics on the radio in Bendigo when I was a kid, and now we're working together. It's a special occasion for me as well. We just need a special goal to crown the occasion now.
We do. You know the soccer a lot better than I do, so I'm learning a lot from you tonight, and it's nice of Chris to put us together. So enjoying it, and I suppose we can put the platitudes away now. We're here to watch the football, aren't we? Forget about talking about each other. I'll talk about you all night. Forget about me.
We've got to keep our morale up in these conditions, Dan.
Yeah, we do, Steve. Exactly right. Here's Isgrove now. He's under some pressure, working his opponent hard, who's on the goal side. That opponent is Giannakopoulos. He does well to try and square it up. He went a little bit backwards with the pass. It wasn't a bad effort. Trying to clear it, Dandenong City. Good play, Kurdar. Kurdar did well to get it out wide now for Forte. Forte under pressure, goes backwards. And again, good work by Dandenong City to get all their players well inside their defensive half, heading towards the 18-yard area. And again now, they've got some work to do, Hume City, as they try and find a way through a lobbing ball. Headed away at the back by Giancopoulos. And Latham now charges onto it, barrel-chested, approaching halfway. Latham has scored 4 times this year. The Welshman, through ball's a very good one, but his teammate, unfortunately, was offside, Cessnick, and that was unfortunate for him on that occasion.
Well, that had to be very close there for Valley Cessnick. Great ball through from Jamie Latham. He described it very well, Dan. He did come charging through, barrel-chested over the halfway line, the through ball on the left peg. And it's now Hume's turn to try and get on the offensive down there, right flank. Kurdar, O'Kane in the tight spaces. He's so good in these tight areas. 2 players to beat, and he keeps possession. Forward combining with Reardon, and this is Ashcroft. He's the only player in the referee's notebook so far this evening, getting his 5th yellow card of the season. Ishak, Oshieng, the left back, moving further up the flank and trying to get involved in the attacks. See if Hume can get some bodies further forward and put some pressure on these men in white shirts of Hajduk. That's a good receive, good first touch from Kurdar, and he combines with Reardon, and now Isgrove, who's floating out into the right-hand side. Rob Harker with the attempt. Really good ball into the box by Isgrove, and Rob Harker, well, the form he's in, he's probably kicking himself that he hasn't opened the scoring there, Dan.
Well, it was open for him, and you could tell that the Dandenong City defenders were annoyed with each other. Hancock and Webster, he was as open as a book, but it came his way, and he probably, if he had it again, he would have allowed it to maybe sit at his feet and then control it and shoot, but he tried to hack it out of midair and hardly connected. Yeah. So, well done, Clark, to get it to Webster. Halfway, it slips to Latham. Latham puts it over the top. Mustafa is quick. Great defence at the back. Well played by Hume City. Mustafa recovers again. Back to Latham. Inside the attacking half. Left side of the field. Mustafa again. Passes back to Latham. The third involvement in the movement. Now they've got an opportunity. Good play. Lampradiadis does well to get it out towards Giancopoulos. He now has his teammate working hard, Cessnick. Back to Giancopoulos. And Latham was also involved with a little touch in the middle of that. And he has to go defensively as they press hard here, Hume City. Still 0-0. Hancock now inside the defensive half marginally with Webster. And Hancock again. And Webster, they wax. You often see that with the defenders. Looking for a way through. Mustafa makes a lead on the edge of the club rooms on the other side of the pitch from where we're calling from in the scaffolding tonight. Here is Giancopoulos. Goes back now to Latham. Latham for a through ball. Good effort. Cessnick does well to the top of the 6-yard box. Good defence by the Hume City team. But back again. Giancopoulos does well, arriving now. Hancock on his own. Little ball to the edge of the 18-yard area. And now they look to go wide again because they've got all their defenders inside the 18-yard area, Hume City. They just can't shoot because the defenders will be able to pick them off. So Latham's involved again with Cessnick. He's wide on the right-hand side. Again, good defence once more. Well played to push it away by big Harry, who's been the big centre defender again, doing a good job to put it over the sideline once more.
Yeah, good leadership from Big Harry there with the captain's armband on, with the absence of Josh Bingham from the starting 11.
You surprised by that?
A little. He's been used a little bit more sparingly this year and coming on off the bench at times. So, and being used in different roles. We was expected to see him as a striker in previous years. Last couple of seasons, he's been used as a little bit deeper as an attacking midfielder. So maybe trying to use some of his assets, including his range of passing, to maybe make up if his speed is leaving him a little bit. Oh, it's a mistake here by Ishak. There's a chance for Lambatarides. Oh, it's blocked by forward. Well played, Joseph, forward to block the shot by Lambatarides. Chance for Latham, who floats it into the back post. In fact, he might have even been trying to lob Damon Camilleri there. He was equal to the attempt as the young 20-year-old goalkeeper in his third senior appearance in NPL Victoria this evening.
Needed to boot it harder, Steve, and he might have been a chance. Turnover, though. Midfield for Dandenong City. Sesnick. Latham running all around the place. A little bit like a headless chook at the moment, looking for a way through. Had it knocked away, though. Good play by Hume City. And they emerge with it through Reardon. Reardon will pass it out wide. And now they've got a chance to try and get things going. Pass through. DeBeerley did pretty well. It's on the edge of the byline. They couldn't control it. Hume City cleared now by Hancock as he charges away. Right in front of our commentary position. Then he stops and props and goes back inside. Giancarlopoulos finds his teammate now, Sesnick, who's been pretty good. Sesnick, though, isn't on goal side where he wants to be. Ashanga's with him, wearing him like a glove, forcing the ball to go over the sideline. That was very good defence by Ashang of the Hume City team. Score still 0-0. 38 minutes into the first half. They're with the breeze, Hume, and Dandenong City through their goalkeeper Clark have done well to keep a clean sheet so far.
Well, the first half is flying by, Dan, which is a good thing given how cold it is tonight. Nick Tolios will be impressed with what he's seen from his spot up in the grandstand where he's watching this one on his touchline band tonight, because his side have been putting constant pressure on these boys in red for the last 5 or 10 minutes, and here they come again. Waves and waves of attack, and Jamie Latham getting more and more involved as he floats the ball across. And they're queuing up for it here. It's Lino, and it's a good save by Camilleri. His second save in the last 2 or 3 minutes. And here's Latham again trying to find some space for the shot, or perhaps the cross. It's Sesnick, first time ball in, aiming for the top of the box, and it's well away again by that Hume defence. In fact, it was Lloyd Isgrove getting back to do the defensive duties there. Lambatarides picking up the ball. So Dandy City, they won't go away at the moment. Now Lino, and they're going to build another attack here, you fancy, through Danny Kim.
Hancock, Kim, Lino, as Steve said, Webster now, just in the defensive half. Getting involved, Lambatarides does well, back to Hancock. Little ball now to Kim, just inside the attacking half. Pressed hard though, has to go wide. Giancarlopoulos has been good, Latham's had a lot of it. Getting some good touches. Goes wide now. Sesnick does well, but again cleared at the back. Good defence by Hume City. What they've done very well to help young Camilleri is their defenders have got back inside the 18-yard area when Dandenong City has made a lot of attacks, which they have in recent times, and they've been there to cut off supply and ensure that Camilleri is protected. Now, they have the ball again. Dandenong City, a lot of possession in recent times. And Hancock to Webster. All red shirts in front of Webster, wearing the captain's armband. Out to Hancock again. Close to the sideline. Limo looking for a way through. Mustafa involved as well. Long ball by Hancock. He nearly missed kicks this one. Getting involved as Shane does well to head it over the sideline, not it away, trying to find his teammate, but it had a bit too much on it and goes over the sideline. Of course, DeBeerley was there, and now they win possession again. Dandenong City.
Well, Nathan Hancock put his hand up to apologise straight away because they've been playing some really good football on the floor, as you need to do when you're playing into a howling gale like this. And Hancock thought about going the aerial route, and if there's any evidence that that doesn't work in these sorts of conditions when you're playing into the breeze, that was it right there. But apart from that, they're playing a fantastic brand of football in the last 10 minutes, Dandenong City, and they're a joy to watch when they play these sort of combinations around the edge of the area. They just haven't quite had the killer blow with that final pass or that final attempt on goal to really put pressure on Damon Camilleri. But the longer that this spell of pressure continues, the closer they're going to come to scoring, and they're going to get another combination here. Jamie Latham down the channel, and there's no one at the top of the box. And in fact, Latham had slightly mistimed his run, a little bit too early there, but again, another good combination with Kenny Athu and Jamie Latham. He just loves to tear around the park. I'd love to see his GPS numbers. He must be running 15 kilometres, 16 kilometres a game, Dan, because he's always making those runs from deeper in midfield to beyond the front line, as we saw then.
He's a bit quick, isn't he, for the defenders? I wonder if Ishak is just not the right matchup for him, being a taller man. And Latham on numerous occasions, a couple of times he's been offside, but only just. But he's just too quick, and he's getting out the back and setting things up coming in from the right-hand side, of course, of the penalty area and able to sort of cause some damage. And with Athu there, it's a chance. Now, talking of a chance, Harker's out the back here, and he swung onto that, but it was almost getting away from him over the byline. It went very, very deep, and he swung it right over the crossbar. And no harm done as far as Clark and the Dandenong City team are concerned.
Well, that's the other obvious disadvantage of playing with the breeze behind your back. Those through balls, they just keep going and run over the byline, as we've seen. We've seen Harker. He's got plenty of pace, but he's had to chase a couple of, probably lost causes there from balls from teammates that have just had too much on them. And again, that one just hanging in the air. It's a decent first touch in the technical area there by the acting head coach there, Bill Theodoropoulos, standing in for the suspended Nick Tolioff tonight. He's got his hands in his pockets to keep warm, and he didn't even take him out of the pockets to control that ball. Here's De Ballet. He's been a little bit quiet by his recent standards tonight. He floats the cross in. Getting back to defend is Yagub Mustafa, and again, his clearance is caught by the breeze, and it's going to be another opportunity for Hume City. So the momentum swings. It's a little bit of a pendulum sort of first half, and now perhaps Hume City with their chance to do some of the attacking play in the next few minutes, the final few minutes of the first half. There hasn't really been one team that's grabbed me and looked like they're the dominant team in the first 45. It's been pretty good end-to-end stuff without a goal, though, Dan.
It has been very entertaining, great to watch. Clark's had a few stops, and he's done a very good job. I mean, that long ball from Kurtar with the wind. I saw a fantastic goal a couple of weeks ago from Abdallah of Green Gully. It was a beauty. It was from a similar position from Kurtar. And that was online too. But on that occasion, the goalkeeper could do nothing. It's a low corner, and it's footed away cleverly by Sesnick, who was loitering with intent on the near goal post there to be able to get it away. But then all those red shirts are inside the attacking half, and they're defending nicely, and they set up a wall. But good play to come through Limo as they were looking to cut across the pitch from one side to the other and try and provide a different angle. And he puts it over the sideline just to break it up. Now they swirl it in. Going hard here, Shang does well. Lobbing ball, but cleared at the back. Good play by Hancock. But coming at it again is Ford, who's been pretty solid in defence again. He'll get another opportunity as it comes out in his direction. A couple of opponents putting pressure. Ford goes long, goes right across the goal mouth. Harker was nearly there to head it. Just got away from him, didn't quite have enough height on it to head it. He couldn't chest it either or control it. And here's Mustafa. Mustafa now. He'll get it just almost at halfway for Dandenong City. And then Gian Kapoulis tries to get it down the line. But the defence is very, very good. And young O'Kane combines brilliantly with Kurtar in the middle of the pitch, Steve.
That's right, and we've just got the fourth official, Max Hanlon, has indicated there'll be just the 1 minute, which I think players and spectators and probably us will be grateful for too. So it's almost half-time here, and O'Kane's pass. Now, he just had to thread the needle there to find Burkhan Kurtar to get the opportunity to shoot on goal. And the pass, again, with the wind behind the back, it just took off and kept going. There's a problem here for Mark Oshieng, who went down holding his hamstring in that previous phase of play. He's got up and got down and got up again. It's like the House of Pain song out there for Mark Oshieng, Dan.
Yes.
But it doesn't look too good. And the obvious replacement would be Dennis Yildiz, but he's not on the bench tonight. So I'm not too sure what the option will be here for the acting coach, Halil Hussein. But what a tumultuous week it's been for Hume City. Rick Marchioli and the club parting company just yesterday, that was announced. And also Clemente, he's the assistant coach as well.
You haven't spoken to Rick? No one's been able to get in touch with him?
No, we do feel for Rick. He's put in a good shift this season for Hume City, building something promising on the verge of national round of 32 in the Australia Cup and potentially finals football. Now, Mark Oshieng, they might just give him the halftime break here to sort out what they're going to do, but I fancy he won't be able to continue in the second 45 once he goes inside the dressing rooms, and if he cools down a fraction, he'll be really feeling the hamstring. So I think they're just bunkering down here for the halftime whistle, which will probably sound from the mouth of Will Quartermain as soon as we get the ball rolling again here.
Well, they're back on. They are. I mean, because he stopped play.
Yeah, he played the drop ball.
Yeah.
We're back on now, and it's
Well,
out of play, and that might be half time. No, we're going to have the throw.
Did he do that thinking that would be half time?
I think he might have, actually. I think he was ready to follow that pass down the
poor
tunnel.
Kick, but maybe it was a tactical move there by Clark. They keep it alive here. Here's a chance now. Is Grove! Magnificent goal right on half-time. And we say right on half-time. A good ball on the edge of the 18-yard area. And it's rolled along the carpet and completely befuddled Clark into the right-hand corner. It's Hume City 1. Can you believe that? Right on half-time. Rick, you'd be proud of your boys even though you're not coaching tonight. Dandenong City 0. Wow, Steve.
Absolutely, Dan. Lloyd Isgrove, a player of his quality, you can't give him that kind of space on the edge of the area. He just threaded that one through the eye of a needle. And Dandenong City have been great value in this first 45. Plenty of attacking play. That makeshift defence without Inaba, without also Sewell back there. They've done really well, but they've just switched off there. They thought they were ready to go in the tunnel for half-time, and they've just switched off 30 seconds too early, and that is a killer blow for Dandenong City in this match that could decide the fate of the top six in season 2025 in this match between 6th and 7th place on the table. And it's Lloyd Isgrove with the decisive moment with virtually the final kick of the first half.
And I'm just looking at Bill, the stand-in coach of Dandenong City. He has looked back at the coaches and the bench of Hume City. If looks could kill, Steve, we'd be in diabolical strife. He's looked back because I wonder he's... board or scorebook, and it is.
Exactly right, Dan. Spot on. So Dandenong City, they concede their 27th goal of the season with the last kick of the first half here. Mark Ossian going off down the tunnel there with the trainer. He's the last player to head off the field. I fancy he's going to be subbed at half-time, and we wish him a speedy recovery if he does have to go and have scans on that hamstring. However, what matters most in the scheme of this round 17 clash with just 10 weeks to go in NPL Victoria is that the 6th place side here, Hume City, have got the important go-ahead goal in this one against the challenger, the 7th place Dandenong City. And it's half-time here at Naciol Stadium with that 1-0 lead to Hume City. Thanks for your company in the first 45, Dan. We're looking forward to a big second 45.
Some work for Dandenong to do, but they go with the breeze, so they'll be looking to really take the game on, and it'll be fascinating how the Hume City team goes against the breeze. They know this ground like the back of their hand. I'm sure they've had to play in these conditions before, and if they've got a lead having the breeze in the first half like they have at the moment, what will their tactics be in the second half? We look forward to it on the stream. Back with more shortly.
That's all right. I don't know what was happening. You might have seen when I turned it off. Sorry? You might have seen when I turned it off. Yeah. Did you? Why would you holding the handheld mic down? I can put my hands in my pockets. Are you sure? Yeah, it might be a healthy choice. You would like it now and then. For the snow. Oh, you need this.
Yeah, so we do the that league, we do the Southern League. My cans on.
Well, hello and welcome back. NPL Victoria Friday Night Football. It's Hume City with the advantage in this top 6 finals race. 6-pointer, that is a mouthful. Steve Curtin with you and Dan Lonigan, the great Dan Lonigan by my side. And we've had one change at half-time. It looks like Josh Bingham has entered the fray and Mark Oshiang's got an early mark going off with that hamstring. But, yeah, welcome back to the gantry for the second 45. The warmth of it up here. Dan Lonigan, good evening.
Well, I'll tell you what I've just realised, Steve. I forgot to put socks on. Aren't I an idiot? Fair dinkum. You would not feed me properly, would you? I mean, that is absolutely stupid of me. Stupidity is what I'm trying to say, that I would not wear socks. I've got my nice little boat shoes on, but it's not summer, Dan, it's winter.
What's happening down there at Williamstown, Dan? You've got the microclimate down there,
Yeah,
not feeling
it's still cold, Steve. I just must have forgotten to put the socks on. Doing some silly things. But anyway, they've got the ball in their defensive half, Hume City, as they try and get going. And Ishak, he was nearly charged down by, well, he was late. He made something of that in front of the ref. I should say Kurdar made something of that in front of the ref as he was met by Mustafa. One player wearing number 10 against another.
Just trying to see that change, Dan. It looks like a little bit of a reshuffle where they've dropped Aaron Reardon from defensive midfield back into central defence alongside Harry Ashcroft, and Aishan Ishak has gone out to the left back position. But King Kenny's in behind here with the breeze behind his back. Kenny Ather, he's left the ball behind. Well, the Hume City defence can breathe a sigh of relief, at least temporarily. And Athieu still in possession. Here's Danny Kim. This is Giannakopoulos. He's got space to try and supply the cross. He decides to go out wide. Valley Sesnick floats it in. And it's partially cleared by that Hume defence, but the danger is still present in the form of Jamie Latham. He tracks all the way back to Nathan Hancock in the orange boots. Lambatarides. Latham cuts inside. Everyone behind the ball here except for Rob Harker for Hume City. Ford getting back to do the defensive duties. Gives Lambatarides the don't argue there, Dan, and it's out of play for a goal kick.
Why wouldn't that be a free? Steve?
Well,
the intention was to put the player down, was it not?
I don't think Will Quartermain's given it too much thought there. He's decided it's a bit of shoulder to shoulder.
Could have nearly win a yellow card, couldn't have it? I've seen yellow cards given for less than that. Yeah. Anyway,
on we play.
Camilleri with the ball, doing okay, as Steve said.
That's his first goal kick into this howling gale. How's he going to handle it?
See how he goes. Needs to go low and flat if he can, and he does.
He does.
Pretty good effort.
Decent.
Headed on to halfway. Harker saying that there was a handball there, and there was. Ball goes out wide. It holds up to Beerley. Under some pressure, goes inside. Great little touch. Ingham back to De Beerley. De Beerley from one side of the goal mouth to the other. Had a bit too much hang time on it. Kim does well to collect. Has a couple of opponents around him. He's under pressure. 2-on-1 there as the Dandenong City defenders get back and wrest the advantage back their way. And Hancock goes down the outer side in front of the social club rooms. The outer side for us where we're broadcasting from. Good play, Ashcroft at the back, right on halfway for Hume City. Ford has an opponent right in his face in Mustafa. Gets the ball now to Ingham. Ingham, a nice little ball as he just kept it moving along. Sliding it cleverly to O'Kane. And Bingham again. And backwards to Ford. But it's intercepted at halfway. But Athu wasn't able to control it. And a good play by Curter at the back as their midfielders getting back to help the defenders at the moment, holding a 1-0 lead. Steve?
Well, I can see someone trying to use an umbrella over the far side into the grandstand here at National Stadium. Any chance that's going to avoid being inverted at some point with this howling northerly that's coming straight off the Macedon Ranges here?
Yes, unbelievable.
Hats off to Jordan for Sportscast Australia behind the camera. He's our windbreak here to our right.
Yes, he is.
Now, here's the chance for Ishak, who's shifted across to left back, as we were just saying, when Kenny Athu broke the defensive line a couple of moments ago. So he's enjoying a tiny bit less defensive responsibilities and able to get forward. Here's Ford.
He's been good.
Joseph Ford, the West Aussie. I was reading a fun fact. His grandpa played in the Irish Olympic football team some years ago. Joseph Ford, the West Aussie. He stayed forward. This is Isgrove, the goal scorer. It's his goal that separates the two sides. His goal coming in the 3rd minute of first half stoppage time when Dandenong City, who'd been good value, completely switched off, looking to head down the tunnel into the warmth of the dressing rooms. They were caught out by none other than Lloyd Isgrove.
So Clark's come well outside the 18-yard area. He was a bit unlucky with that goal. They thought it was going to be half-time as Asheng suffered a hammy right on half-time. And they probably switched off for 30 seconds, allowing him to get free on the edge of the 18-yard area and put it away in the right-hand corner along the carpet. Tua completely deceived the goalkeeper. Clark has been very good when there have been some aerial balls coming in with the breeze. And it made a few very decent stops, not on that occasion. So that's why it's a 1-0 lead early in the second half.
Well, it's going to be a long 45 if Hume City are just trying to hold on to this 1-0 advantage for the remainder. It was Dandenong City who, of course, scored. They equalised last week in the 90th minute.
Here's an opportunity now, O'Kane. He goes wide. He could have had a shot. Harker back to the top of the 18-yard area, dribbling away. They couldn't quite control it. They had a chance there.
Well, they had the numbers.
They certainly did. And once again, they were caught napping the defenders. Not quite inside the 18-yard area to offer their goalkeeper the support that he needed in Pierce Clark. And a turnover again. Ford has been very, very good. He foots it now towards Harker, who might have just been offside. Marginally offside. There wasn't much in that as he was creeping inside the 18-yard penalty area at the... I suppose, what will we call it?
We'll call it the Barry Road end or the northern end.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yes. Northern will do, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good ball in by Ford. It had a good shape on it, and the first touch by Harker was nice. He got it to sit out just in front of him for a potential shot on goal, but he was thwarted by the assistant referee's flag going up on the near side here. Vince Turcarolo, the assistant referee. That one's gone on the roof of the grandstand over there on the far side, over towards the athletics facility over there on the back of the Nassio grandstand here.
Are you getting
Broadmeadows?
Sorry, Steve, are you getting the feeling that it's PTB by Hume City at the moment? I think you know what that means, don't you? Park the bus.
Yeah, it might well be. Well, that's why I was saying it. Dandenong City, they're known for their last-minute goals. It was a Kenny Athu header that was forced into his own net by Daniel Clark for the Thunder last week to allow City to level things up, only for them to go on and dramatically lose the game a few minutes later. But they've certainly been masters of the late heroics, and they're doing the defensive duty here as Lloyd Isgrove is running at the defence, and I'm not sure if that was an attempted cross or a shot, but he's turned it over here. And well, the Dandenong City players, they haven't got too many far enough advanced up the park to create an opportunity, but there's a little bit of space here for Sesnick, right next to the referee, Will Quartermain, rubbing shoulders with the match official.
Himself. I'll have a look at Isgrove.
You keep an eye on Isgrove. Here's Mustafa trying to take on Ford. Mustafa goes to ground, losing his footing. Ford doing the defensive duty still. They're still having a really good tussle. They've had a really good battle during the first half, and they're continuing in the second 45. But it's not good news. Dan, for Lloyd Isgrove, the goal scorer tonight, on the top of an injury that we've already seen to Mark Oshieng.
Yeah, he's hurting, so he just sort of, I don't really know how it happened. He just sort of stopped like he was shot. We've seen knee injuries, obviously, in AFL footy, probably in the world game as well, Steve, over the years, where a player has just sort of fallen awkwardly, and he just was sitting there, and I wasn't sure exactly how it happened. He's getting some water now.
So he's being helped off the field at the moment. He's walking under his own steam.
So it's obviously not a knee. There's going to be a change here.
That's yeah, he's getting some assistance there from Andy Devine, the physiotherapist for Hume City, who is rugged up like he's on a trip to the Antarctic.
Well, it is Antarctic weather, isn't it?
So it looks like that change is going to happen. They're not going to risk any further injury to Izzy, the key man out here at Broadmeadows.
Mehmet Usal is coming on.
He does have one goal to his name earlier this season, does Mehmet Usal, and one in the cup as well, so 2 in all competitions.
They've shared the goals around these two teams, 11 from Dandenong City, 10 from Hume City, and this is a very low corner to the left-hand goal post. Having a shot, that wasn't a bad effort, coming in again from Dandenong City, and then it rolls away.
Well, they're threatening here, aren't they, Dan?
They are.
Dandy City.
Mustafa was the player there that just had a swing at that from just outside the 18-yard area. Again, the defenders were all virtually in the 6-yard box, helping out their goalkeeper in Camilleri. They get another crack at this. Maybe a deeper corner required here as the rain is coming down quite heavily. And again, it was a little bit short, and it can't be controlled properly by Giancopoulos, and it rolls off his body for a goal kick.
Well, strap yourselves in. We've only gone just over 5 or 6 minutes here in the second 45 from Broadmeadows and Naciel Stadium here. And it's, well, Hume City, they're going to try and, again, just try and control the tempo of this one. And look at the ball. It won't even sit in the 6-yard box there. The breeze is blowing it down towards the Mooney Ponds Creek. To
if you have a look at the
left
trees,
of screen.
Steve, I reckon the wind has picked up. The trees will tell you a story there.
Well, they were horizontal, some of those trees, during the halftime break, as we had a bit of a storm rolling through. And here's another attack here for Hume. Bingham, the halftime substitute, onto the chest of Giannakopoulos, who tries to turn out of trouble. Pressure from the substitute Usal. So the two Hume substitutes looking to link up together, and they've won themselves a throw out near the entrance gates here at Naciel Stadium on the far side. It's going to be taken by the big man who's moved across to left back, which is Aishan Ishak.
Did you see that ball sit up too, Steve? It came in from Bingham. It just sort of sat up.
Yeah.
Like it was almost ready to make a move back in his direction. So the wind is very, very strong. As strong as I've seen at a soccer game. And this is a long, high ball that is just kept alive. It's hooked back in, but straight to the goalkeeper, Clark. It wasn't a bad effort to try and see if he could make something of that haka. And now they've got it inside. They're attacking half Dandenong City, but they're getting their numbers back brilliantly at the moment. Hume City defending a 1-0 lead right on half-time. Scored by Isgrove, who's gone off with an injury. Ford combining now with DeBeely. Again, a swirling ball that holds up into this howling breeze. And now it's at the middle of the pitch, and a player is brought down for Dandenong City as he was ready to get going. And this is Cesnik, who was brought down. And it's going to be maybe a yellow card, I wonder.
And the book is out. Jack Webster having a good chat. We'll catch that one to get on the replay screen here. Kerdar bringing down Cesnik.
Front on, wasn't it?
And it was definitely a intentional foul.
It was almost like a tunnelling foul as he sort of came in front on,
beside
didn't
him.
he? Yeah.
So Kerdar, he's already served a suspension for picking up 5 yellow cards this season. We'll go around the grounds in a minute. As we said, 4 games happening in NPL Victoria tonight. Here's a chance for Will Bauer, who's just entered the fray. So that first sub of the night for Dandenong City has taken place, and it's Yagub Mustafa who's, well, he's decided not to go and sit down on the pine and turn into a icy cool down there. He's making the long trip around to the dressing rooms for an early shower instead. But he's just about got a bit of a hobble, so we hope he's okay, Yagub Mustafa, because it's a big schedule coming up as well for Dandy City with cup football during the week. As the ball's into the box, it's across the 6-yard box. I think it was off O'Kane off the line. Still alive here. Lambatarides, he sliced that one. And that one's going to be a goal kick. Well, all the drama again with the breeze. Hume City struggling to clear their lines.
He was beaten then, Camilleri, and luckily they had the defenders there, and that's been the difference. I've said a couple of times, just their defenders have been there to help Camilleri out on a few occasions. A couple of times, Dandenong City, including the goal to Isgrove, right on half-time, just caught napping a bit.
Well, they're going to play out short here. They've decided to elect against the long goal kicks, although they played long from the second ball from... It looked like it was Reardon with the clearance, but it's come straight back again, across the face, and it's tipped over by Camilleri. Well, that might have been sneaking in at the back post. Camilleri had to get up on his toes and flick that one away. Now he's stretching the calves, so we can't afford any more injuries for Hume City at the moment. So all hands to the pump here to defend as Jamie Latham is lining up the corner kick. Will Bauer providing the short option. We have got some goals going in around the ground, so we'll get to those shortly as Latham swings it in. It's low at the front post. It might sit up here for Valley Sesnick. It's blocked by Bingham. And now Bauer. They're lining up. It's like a shooting gallery out there on the edge of the 18-yard box. Clearance was by Harker. There's everyone back in defence here for the boys in red shirts. And eventually they survive again. But they are under the pump at the moment. Let's go around the grounds, Dan. Heidelberg United at Preston Lions have taken the lead through Bourgeois. So that puts Heidelberg on top of the live ladder ahead of Avondale. Avondale still to play tomorrow. We've also got 0-0 at Green Gully and Port Melbourne as Gully's celebrating their 70th birthday tonight. They'll be looking for a goal so they can let some fireworks go. In fact, that's a full-time score because that game did start at 7:30.
Yes.
So that game is over. So there's no goal to celebrate the special occasion for Gully. It's a sound and light show that they have, a la some of the modern football stadiums when they score a goal out at Green Gully Reserve these days.
Celebrate though, because they've got fantastic facilities, won't they?
They do. Here's opportunity for Bauer.
Good defence again.
Yeah, it was very good again. Getting across to close him down. There's Harry Ashcroft.
He's been pretty good, Harry Ashcroft, hasn't he?
He's been busy. He's shed the captain's armband to return to Josh Bingham since coming on at half-time, and it's going to be yet another corner for the Welshman, Jamie Latham.
He needs to get them a bit deeper and a bit higher. It's just the three defenders there, as we can see, thanks to Jordan with all his great work.
Spot on, Dan.
And it's a swinging ball that nearly goes in. I've got a feeling that it might have just hit the crossbar and gone over the top, but it was a great effort.
Oh,
it was a swinging ball right on the edge of the 6-yard box, Steve.
Nate Hancock thought he might have scored there. Good contact with the football.
Yes, he got it right in the middle.
Right in the middle of the crossbar as well.
Yes, he did. Right in the middle of the head.
No touch from Camilleri.
No.
Now, the other score, not far from Green Gully, just a couple of kilometres away over at St Albans. St Albans 1, South Melbourne 2. That's a 62-minute score there in that fixture there. So that's running concurrently with our kick-off time here.
Just around the corner from my place. So a bit of a goal fest there. I'm sure it's windy. South Melbourne having a pretty good year, of course, the premiers last year, and then were beaten in the grand final by Oakley. As they've got the ball inside the attacking half, Dandenong City having some good moments at the present time, but just not able to put the score on the board. They nearly had one before to level it up. It's 1-0 at the moment. They're deep into attack at the city end of Nasiol Stadium, the home of Hume City. It's been their home since 2010. One stage over Coburg United, then North Coburg. Now there's an opportunity. Deep ball came in again once more, waiting at the back, but getting too much connection on that was Limo just outside the 18-yard area, and it sails harmlessly and aimlessly over the crossbar. It's still 1-0 in favour of Hume City, and we're racing through this, aren't we? What are we in, the 62nd minute?
Yeah, time ticking by, and Well, the recent minutes in this game, it's Dandenong City lining up at like the agricultural show at the competition where they're trying to hit the target with the ducks going by. This shooting gallery on the edge of the 18-yard box. And here's another opportunity brewing here, you fancy, with Jamie Latham on the ball. A player who at times seems to have the magic in his boots. Here's Lino. Bowers ball in. Danny Kim making tracks to chase it down. Lambatarides. Everyone behind the ball except for Harker. Now Harker even chasing back, and that one's a little bit too vertical, and Camilleri is going to take a couple of seconds off the clock here and try and cool things down a bit for Hume, who are under the pump here as they sit on this 1-0 lead, courtesy of that stoppage time first half goal from Lloyd Isgrove, who has left the field with an injury, and as has Mark Oshiang as well. Here's DeBelle trying to combine with Bingham, and most importantly, get the ball up the park a little bit too. They've been pegged back in their own defensive third, have Hume City in the last 10 minutes. And Lambatarides has found possession of the football here again. Ashcroft combining with Reard. Not sure if that was intentional, but it looked good. Here's Usal. Mehmet Usal getting some minutes here. Burkhan Kurdar tried the back heel. Why not? Mehmet Usal's in here. Great back heel by Kurdar. Great vision. It was almost like he was in slow motion. Time stood still there for Burkhan Kurdar as he supplied what was the would-be assist, and the Dandenong City defence had to come to the rescue there and force the corner.
Great defensive work by Hancock. He came in there where the 6-yard box in the 18-yard penalty area met to sort of get involved to make sure that he smothered the attempt by Hume City to score a goal into the breeze. And they get a rare corner. All the corners have occurred at the other end, and don't tell me, Pierce Clark's in a bit of trouble. He's doing some stretching as he's on his backside at the other end, and referee Quartermain has come down to check and see how he is, doing a bit of stretching with his teammate. Yeah, in fact, it's Camilleri, I should say.
Oh, it's bad news for Hume with Michael Weir already out with a hamstring injury and maybe not back for a couple more weeks. Camilleri, he looked a bit proppy 5 or 10 minutes ago as well. He's been under the pump, particularly especially I think trying to kick the long balls into the wind as well. Yeah. If you've got a bit of a muscle strain, if that's not going to test it out, nothing will. So, and that would make sense as to why we've seen the goal kicks taken short in the last few minutes as well for Camilleri.
With him is Ishak, who will go down the other end now, one of the taller players who you'd think could help out to maybe try and provide some heading value, but he's not going to. He's going to remain the most defensive player outside the goalkeeper.
Unusual.
Yep. So a little bit of time will be added, which will just make us colder, but we're still enjoying ourselves as part of the stream for Football Victoria. Swinging ball low, nice header, cleared away. Did it go through? Well, Did it go through? I've got a feeling that he might have been over the line as he bobbled that Clark.
Well, Hume protesting, but the assistant referee kept the flag down to indicate play on.
Gee, again, they were a bit messy.
That was very close.
And it's taken nicely. Usal's pass wasn't very good.
I think it was Jamie Latham's chest off the goal line.
Yep. And here's DeBelle. He runs into an opponent who comes the other way and manages to crash it down for Dandenong City and ensure that they keep possession of the ball, but only momentarily. Camilleri, he's thinking, will I pick it up and get inside the 18-yard area? Backtracks and elects to kick it away. Bingham misses it. O'Kane's there for Hume City. Back now to Webster for Dandenong City. And Hancock, who's had a pretty good match tonight. Nearly equalised a minute or so ago. So it could have been an own goal, that one, couldn't have it? As it goes back now to Clark, who's got some work to do, and he slides it in the direction of Hancock. It's still 1-0 in favour of Hume City, but plenty of action here at Nassiol Stadium over the last couple of minutes or so.
Yeah, long way to go in this one yet. Just the narrowest of leads. Lloyd Isgrove is the difference between these two sides at the moment, but it's Dandenong City with a breeze behind their back. When I say breeze, it must be a howling gale to be more fair, and they're building up possession here. Ball in for Bauer from Kim. Appeals for a free kick, and it's going to be a free kick for Dandy City in a very handy position. And the yellow card is out of the pocket there for Joseph Ford for that sliding challenge. And, well, who's going to line this one up here? You fancy it's Latham looks keen for it. Plenty of protestations going on from that Hume City defence. But wherever you're tuning in, we hope you're enjoying this action. NPL Victoria live stream Friday night football, round 17 of the competition. Steve Curtin alongside me, the great Dan Lonigan, and it's a chance here from the set piece to level things up, level the ledger here in this match that would mean a goal that would mean a lot here to Dandenong City as they chase sixth-placed Hume City. Dandenong City desperate for a spot in the top six for the second year in a row after they were promoted from the second tier of Victorian football the year before.
It's a great effort, isn't it, to come from the second tier, they won the title, and then they've made their way into the finals the next year. I mean, normally it's all about just trying to hang
survival.
The first year and
consolidation.
Yes, and then look at getting more players in the next year, knowing you can at least compete at that level. But that was a great effort. So,
well, Camilleri organising his wall. There's going to be looks like 3.5 in the wall because DeBelle's not really sure if he's in it. DeBelle is in the wall. He's got a bit of strapping on his left thigh as well. That's
some injury.
It's a bit of a injury ward out there at the moment as Camilleri's going to try and cover the left-hand side as we face it with the wall, and then he's also directing traffic at the back post in the shape of his defenders that are marshalling Kenny Athu, who's going to be lurking, and also you can see Jack Webster there is almost lurking in an offside position to try and put the goalkeeper off as well. Lambatarides is also interested in it. You fancy it'll be the right foot of Latham rather than the left foot of Lambatarides. Decisive moment in this game. 71st minute here. As a hush comes over Naciel Stadium as we await the referee's whistle. And it's going to be Jamie Latham with the shot. The wall does its job. And it ricochets back to the taker and he floats it in as Latham, and well played by the young goalkeeper Camilleri, who's standing tall out there tonight despite his younger and less experienced status in this contest.
Well, if he's got a bit of a hammy, that would have certainly tested it. High ball, virtually just goes up and down to the one spot. The ref got caught in the middle of that.
He's had a few touches tonight.
DeVille eventually gets involved here. Couple of opponents around him. Nice through ball to Bingham, who does likewise to the outer side now. Good ball towards the edge of the 18-yard area. Kurtar back now, had too much on it. Here's a chance now for Dandenong City to try and get themselves going. 1 on 3, player brought down. Again, a considered late call and another yellow card. They've had a few against them tonight, the home team, Hume City. And
like
is that the second one to
second
Ford?
One for
so
Ford.
He's off.
He's had two in 4 or 5, or 2 in about 2 minutes. Well,
so he'll miss the next match, which might be the cup match. And he's also obviously off for the rest of this match. And he didn't even look back. He's going straight into the change room.
That might be a good night for an early shower for Joseph Ford, perhaps. Yeah. But this is going to be hard work for Hume City now. Yes, they have this 1-goal lead. Here comes Lino. They're under 10 men and they're playing into a howling gale here. They do have the home ground advantage and they have a lead, but that's about it. As we see those shots from Jordan behind the camera zooming in on Ford as he heads down the tunnel into the warmth of the dressing room. So a red card on 72 minutes for Hume City for their right back, Joseph Ford. So it's going to be a little bit of a reshuffle. So we'll keep an eye on the positional switches there. But you fancy they'll just try and lump a lot of men behind the ball and make things difficult. And I would imagine that Bill Theodoropoulos will be looking to try and throw some attacking options out there. As we say that, Brad Plant is being readied.
Yes, the English player has scored 3 times this year. Brad Plant, good football name. Down the left-hand side, Kurtar a through ball. It's a very good ball towards the 18-yard area. Harker's there, and he puts it away past the diving goalkeeper in Vane Clark. Magnificent play, and they head to the left-hand corner, and they just jump on each other. Stacks on the mill. The big fella's on the bottom, so he'll be all right. 2-0 for the Hume City team. Great goal, Rob Harker.
Rob Harker, he's painting the town red at the moment, is the Englishman. That's his 4th goal in these last 3 matches. And just when they'd been reduced to 10 men, what a response from Hume City. The character of this bunch of players, they've lost their coach during the week, but they've come out here and put in a performance. And it's almost like they're galvanised by hardship, these boys, as they double their lead to 2-0 And Hume City, who are getting a real sniff of it now, suddenly find themselves with a little bit of a mountain to climb, Dan.
Well, that's right. I don't know how Dandenong City come back from here. They've done so much right. They've done so much attacking. They just haven't been able to finish. And that was a magnificent goal. Kerdar set it up brilliantly. He had support, of course, down the left-hand side. And then a through ball to big Rob Harker again. Just a lack of, I suppose, defensive strategy and, I suppose, defensive nous from the Dandenong City team, allowing the big fella to be on his own in that 18-yard area, and he put it away. So they go again, Dandenong City, and that was low percentage, a long ball from Cesnik. And look, with the breeze, when you're only 22 metres out, a man's got to know his limitations. Steve.
Absolutely, never a wiser word spoken. Good build-up there. Again, you look at Kerdar involved, Usal down the left, the substitute, and Harker lost his marker in the box. And you have to say it's probably another situation where Dandenong City have maybe had something go their way and they've actually lost concentration moments after.
Yes.
Straight after the red card, they're probably thinking, all right, let's pile the pressure on here. And their defence has had a critical lapse, and it could be so costly for them, not only tonight, but on the balance of their season ahead, as we're seeing wholesale changes now to both sides taking place. Michael Domfey ready to come on.
Yes, he's another important member of this side. He's scored a couple of goals. A lot of their players have scored goals from both teams. It's been very even contribution. Again, Hume City working hard in defence despite being down a man. Ford getting 2 yellow cards in a matter of minutes, forcing him off and out of the next game that they're involved in, this team. Nice ball. De Beerley, though, went for the through ball and couldn't get it. And then eventually it goes over the sideline.
Oh, we've got another player down. This is chaos out there. It's turned into a war zone.
It's carnage.
Absolute carnage indeed. So we've had that sub take place. So Brad Plant is out there, and he's been in good goal-scoring form of late, coming off the bench as the 28-year-old. He's tucked away 3 goals in recent weeks, as you mentioned, and Rob Harker is hobbling now, the most recent goal scorer. So it could be the fact that both of the Hume City goal scorers could be forced off with injury, as well as Mark Oshieng. And it does look like Harker's going to exit the field and head down the tunnel on the far side and be replaced by Michael Domfey. So that'll be something of a like-for-like switch.
Yes.
Unless we see De Valle go into the striker position, perhaps. So De Valle, who was temporarily covering at right back where Ford's been sent off. Looks like Mehmet Usal is now covering as right back. So these players are being asked to play a variety of roles tonight in this obscure situation that we see them in, where they've lost their manager during the week and they're sitting on this 2-goal cushion. And Dandenong City have actually been a team who's played some pretty good football and been threatening a lot more at times.
Lemo, Hancock, Latham, all in the attacking half. But the red shirts, down one man, of course, are all in the defensive half of their team at the City end, defending stoutly, holding a 2-0 lead and looking to increase their lead over Dandenong City in regard to being in 6th position on the table. It would be their 9th win of the season. They're 8-5-3, but of course, we keep harping on it, their coach was moved on. I think most coaches would love a record like that, but anyway, we digress. Hancock. Lemo to the edge of the 18-yard area with a swinging ball. Reardon gets a nice little touch on it for Hume City. Sets up Domfey. Domfey has the field to beat, and he studs into Webster coming the other way. Webster's in trouble. The ref has let it go. Not sure he should have, but he has.
Webster's hurt here.
Yes, and now there'll be another stop.
He's a hard man. He doesn't go down easily. Well, this has been a shocking night. We've seen Isgro forced off injured. We've seen Harker forced off injured. We've seen Oshieng was the first one forced off injured as well. We've had a couple of delays for Camilleri in goal. He looks like he's going to continue. And Hume City, they've had a clean bill of health apart from Michael Weir's injury, but it's looking a bit ugly now. And now for Dandy City, a team who are already without 2 of their starting back 4 tonight, with suspension in the shape of Inaba and Sewell, looking like they're going to lose their captain here, Jack Webster. which is a massive blow, not only in terms of what he offers in defence, but also his leadership out there. You can hear him barking the instructions all the time, and he's going to try and get back up onto his feet here, is he? It was a big contact. Domfay running straight into him. Domfay just really ran down a cul-de-sac and he didn't put the brakes on.
No, that's exactly right. I wonder, though, if that should have been a free. Let's have a look at it here. And he did charge through, didn't he? I mean, he had eyes on the ball, fair enough, but he did charge through and studs were up because he had eyes on the ball. It was, I still felt it should have been a free because he was standing his ground, Webster. Anyway,
so solid.
Cuba's getting ready to come on, isn't he? So
Diego Cuba,
is now having a chat to the coaches on the sideline.
It's such a strange night. Rick Marchioli not there, moved on yesterday, but then also as well, from a Dandenong City point of view, Bill Theodoropoulos in charge in the technical area because Nick Tolios is also not in there because he is serving a touchline ban tonight. It's a really obscure feel to this match, and a match played in freezing conditions here in Broadmeadows tonight. We're down to 10 degrees, but the feels like is on 6, so wherever you're tuning in, we hope that you're keeping warm. Go and put the kettle on as we'll get the game going again once this substitution has taken place. That's going to be the end of the night for Webster. So, he's taken off the shin pad and he's not well, is he? He's feeling that one there. He's a man who's made of stern stuff, but this doesn't look too good here for Webster. Hopefully it's just like a contact injury rather than any kind of ligament tear or anything like that might have taken place.
Looks like Gazim's going to come on too.
So they're clearing the bench here for Dandy City.
Yes.
So Cuba on, and as you mentioned, Cuba and Jordan Gazim, the 22-year-old. So how they're going to line up in defence now, I don't know. They're probably not too focused on defence because they want to try and grab a goal and get themselves back into this game because they still have the numerical advantage. That's the other thing we should mention, all of these injuries. We've also had Joseph Ford out with a red card as well, suspended for the Cup game on Tuesday night. So we said both of these teams will be playing Cup football on Tuesday night. For Hume City, it's a trip to Nunawading. And for Dandenong City, it's a tricky game against South Melbourne, but they will be on their home deck out at Frank Holohan out there in Dever Hills in Melbourne South East. So they'll have the home ground advantage, but they might have some injury concerns to deal with in the shape of Webster. Here's the chance for Cuba, the fresh legs. Into the box. It's going to go over to the back post. Lining up was the opportunity for Atherinos. And he hit it pretty sweetly.
He did.
He hit it right out of the middle, right out of the screws, but it was over the crossbar from the substitute, Tim Atherinos.
Just too much elevation, wasn't it? And he's got the right idea. He's got the gloves on.
He's a smart man.
He is. I've gone for the Michael Jackson look with the one glove on because I'm holding the microphone at the moment. I'm putting my other hand in my pocket.
Fortunately, the cameras, Jordan's camera's directed onto the pitch and not at us.
You wouldn't want to look at me. I've got a good head for radio, Steve. It's headed down halfway as they try and knock it on Dandenong City. But again, blasting it away. It's going over the sideline. I don't think they're too worried how they blasted away. Yusal did it on that occasion, who helped set up that last goal to Harker. And it went over the sideline. So I think they're happy for City to have the ball, but they'll make sure that they'll just sit back and make it virtually impossible for them to find a way, particularly a direct route to goal. Hancock passing across the pitch to Limo. Limo goes out wide. Looking for a way through now. It's a nice curving ball, but again, good defence by Hume. And they managed to hack it over the line. Weller was the player who's scored 3 times. He got a decent boot on that. But again, the defence very, very good to just whack it through Ashcroft over the crossbar and concede another.
I'm not sure if Ashcroft could have had a call there from Camilleri to say, let it run through to the keeper. Nonetheless, they're going to have to defend the corner here. A chance for Dandy City to try and get themselves back into it. They need a goal now. There's only 7 minutes of regular time left. It's away by DeBalle at the near post. So the cross a little disappointing. Doesn't beat the first man.
They haven't had enough carry in the crosses, have they?
They haven't.
Enough swirl.
Atherinos drills this one in low. It's too low. away by Curda. These clearances by the Hume City players, they're resembling something from a State League Saturday afternoon game where they're just trying to get it out. Anywhere will do. As you mentioned with that Usal clearance before, sliding in there was a dangerous moment there. Stays in play, and the snapshot from distance. It's going to be a pretty regulation save from Camilleri again. The shot was coming in from Brad Plant, looking for his 4th of the season.
Got the socks down too, Brad Plant. I haven't seen it.
He's got the Jack,
very often.
The Jack Grealish shin pads. The shin pads the size of a 50-cent piece.
Oh, that's what he's got.
Which is probably not what you want when you're seeing how cold it is out there and how many players have gone down injured. But nonetheless, we go on, and that's the fashion of some of the things you see these days. Players cutting holes in the backs of their socks and so forth. And
why?
Well, I still struggle to understand the benefits of the athletic performance that are gained from doing that. But if you watch any Premier League game these days, you're likely to see the majority of players doing that, more so than not. Here's Mehmet Usal. A third here would really kill things off. In by Bingham. O'Kane thought about pulling the trigger. Just a little pirouette on the edge of the 18-yard box. He tries to hit the ball on his left. It's up in the air. Domfey was throwing his weight around up there. Good outside of the foot touch there by Kurda. Here's DeBelle running at Giannakopoulos. He's turned it over here and it's smacked up the field. Only as far as that Hume City defence who get the ball going forward again. Clark played forward there by Gassim.
Gee, good pressure by Yasal, isn't it? He's just chasing all over the place.
He's doing really well.
Making the passes not really stick from Dandenong City here, Steve.
Good contribution by Usal. Like, he set up that goal, the goal for that 2-goal cushion, and that's made all the difference, that 2-goal cushion for the 10-man. Look, here's Bingham. He looks like he's lining up in the back four almost here as he picks up the loose ball.
Smart player, isn't he?
Reads the game so well, and I think that is why we have seen him deployed in deeper roles rather than the striker position that we've seen him in his heyday. You can see him there. It looks like he's lining up in defensive midfield as his starting position here.
Played at Central Coast, of course, Wollongong Wolves.
Top player. Here's Kurda. He's got options left and right. He decides just to hold on to the ball and maybe draw the challenge from Giannakopoulos. Nice little 1-2 with DeBelle. Josh O'Kane. It's out of play in Hume City. They're controlling the tempo really well, and the game management is going to make another change here and just slow things down. And it's going to be the end of the shift for Godfrey DeBelle. The former Gold Coast Knight is going to be replaced by the youngster from Albury Wodonga, Aboya Eze, who arrived here via the Western United Academy. And he turns 20 next weekend, so still a tender age for Eze, and a chance for him to come out and make a difference for the 10-man and probably run around and harass and put pressure on these white shirts for the next 5 or 6 minutes.
Just try and keep warm, I suppose.
That's a hard night to come off the bench.
Well, it is, but I mean, it's just an opportunity, isn't it? You're out there and you never know what might happen in this great game. 2-0, and Dandenong City have the ball in front of the social club rooms. If you're behind the glass, if you're having a lovely time. And most of them, no doubt, would be Hume City supporters, about probably to celebrate another victory, as Lamparides did pretty well to get it deep and then trying to find a way. He's been very quiet, hasn't he, at the hill after a promising start, and he was cut on the corner near the byline, and good defence by Hume City, and they have given up yet another corner kick. Let's see if we can get a deeper one coming in. Steve's got some scores from around the grounds.
No other goals have gone in since we last brought you the scores. We'll await the in-swinger here. It's got a good shape on it. Camilleri under pressure. He palms it away. He hasn't cleared the zone, though. Oh, it's come off the back of Usal. Oh, and it's just been cleared at the near post. So Dandenong City, they can't buy a goal tonight there. You'd think that ball's going to fly in for them eventually, and it just hasn't.
Scramble everywhere,
and
wasn't it?
Time's nearly evaporated, and we've got a Hume City player down on the penalty area, but Hume probably won't mind too much as they can try and take some more seconds off the clock here before the restart. It might be Harry Ashcroft that's gone down holding the ribs. It might have been him blocking the shot that caused that. It might be Reardon, in fact, actually. It is Aaron Reardon. Oh, it's actually Asian Ishak, but Camilleri's going to take his time here, so no further goals going in. Repeating those scores, Gully and Port Melbourne 0-0 at full time. Heidelberg still leading Preston by a goal to nil, courtesy of the Raging Bull, Buljuarch, and South Melbourne goals from Mells and Mikola leading St Albans with a couple of minutes to go over there at Churchill Reserve. Platt with the goal for St Albans. So South Melbourne, after a shocking run, they're looking a little bit more resurgent now, stringing some wins together. And they've got a big match coming up, as we mentioned, down at Frank Holohan on Tuesday night in the Cup for a spot in the national round of 32, Dan. It's Dandenong City and South Melbourne. So their attention for these Dandenong City players has got to quickly turn to that Cup match on Tuesday night, because it will be heady times for the boys from Frank Holohan to be in the national round of the Australia Cup, potentially against an A-League opponent. And also that would also qualify them for the semi-finals of the Doherty Cup, the state knockout comp here in Victoria.
It's starting to get serious, isn't it, those knockout competitions? As that was a nice through ball for the Dandenong City team. But again, Camilleri doing a pretty good job. And he elects to go for the drop kick. Pretty good one too, towards halfway.
You don't see that too often.
No, you do not. That was a nice kick too. He's kicked them pretty low as well with this wind, which might have just evaporated a little bit. Limo kicks into bodies. Good defence again by Ashcroft, who's been outstanding tonight. Might get a vote from Steve and I. More Steve than me. And now here's a chance for Domfay. Domfay's onside. Down the left-hand side. Oh. Gets it towards the 18-yard area, but it's missed by the young man, Eze. He wasn't able to get his boot to ball then. He just slipped over on the edge of the 18-yard area. It was a magnificent run by Domfay. Down the left-hand side. Turnover again. Great work by O'Kane. Here's Domfay on the ball. Back now to the young man. Can he do a little bit better here, Eze? But his pass isn't great. Hoping someone might run onto it. The man that was going to run onto it was invisible. There was no one there. And Clark's there at the back. And now they'll charge down the left-hand side through Cuba for Dandenong City. Goes after it again after his pass was run down. Ishak's there. Reardon's there. Good work at the back once more by Yusal, who's got back and got forward and been very, very good since coming on. Played a big role in this team, leading 2-0 as we're almost at full time. Here's Steve Curtin on the stream in the big match tonight between Hume City and Dandenong City, 6th and 7th on the ladder.
Well, this might sound silly, but the fourth official has put up 6 additional minutes on the end of the 90 here. Well, one of those has already evaporated, but it sounds silly, but if Dandy City could score here, there's still time to get something out of this game with the 11-on-10 advantage that they have and the breeze behind their backs as well.
There's been a lot of injuries, remember. That's why there's 6 minutes of extra or injury time.
Exactly. Look at this skill from Atherinos. Gets it into the box. Oh, it's well away by Reardon.
He's been
diving header. Reardon's been really solid. Played in a couple of different roles in defensive midfield and central defence tonight. And there's going to be another attack here. Another wave of attack for Dandy City. Brad Plant loses the ball. Look at this skill from Kurdar. And he's got a chance here. He's one-on-one.
Oh, he is.
He's one-on-one with Jordan Gassium as Kurdar. He's going to switch the play. And getting forward is Usal. He already has 1 assist tonight. Driving towards the goal. It's Mehmet Usal to seal the deal for Hume City. And the 10 men are going to walk home with the 3 points. And it's happy days out at Broadmeadow after a tumultuous week. They're going to belt out the team song tonight, Dan.
Huge performance. How good's he been, Usal? He just charged down the right-hand side. And it was like they had the extra player and the Dandenong City opponents were left in their wake and the shoulders were slumping and they just had no run in the legs, no fight left in their body to be able to keep up with Mehmet Usal. It was just wonderful, wonderful work, the way they switched from one side to the other. And 2 goals into the breeze. A magnificent performance. 3-0 for Hume City. Thoroughly deserved victory.
And hats off to Burkhan Kurda, who got that ball in his own half. It's a great switch of play. He might end up in our votes as well, Dan, because that was a tremendous assist from him. Such a good player so far this season for Hume City since coming across here not too long ago from the Dandy Thunder.
And they might also get their second clean sheet of the season. Hume City, and it now means they're, 29-26, so it's 3 advantage in regard to goal difference, and we know how important goal difference is in the World Game, Steve. So
right.
they needed to get probably in the positive in that area.
Well, they certainly will be in the positives tonight. Atherinos, Lambatarides, can they get one to try and pretty up the scoreline a little bit? Unable to. They're getting some numbers forward. It's a frustrating night. Jamie Latham made his way a long way around to the bench after being subbed a short time ago. Incredibly frustrated. It typifies the night that Dandenong City have had. They've put in some good patterns of play, some good combinations around the area, but they've had adversity thrown at them in the shape of this resurgent Hume City team that, well, you think they might have been affected by the coach sacking during the week with Rick Marchioli gone, but they've just managed to carry on the good work that they've been putting in so far this season tonight.
You often see it when a coach is sacked that a team responds, but not knowing it. And the fact that they've been playing reasonable football wasn't like that.
And they're coming off a win last week.
Yeah, they were horribly out of form. I mean, AFL is my space, and you see it all the time. That a team is struggling, they make the decision, and then the new coach comes in, and it's almost disrespectful. The team plays well for the new coach. Mightn't win, but they get close. But this is a different situation. They're winning, and they still sack the coach.
Strange times in NPL Victoria, but, well, sometimes we're surprised, and sometimes we even suspect these things can happen. As we saw last year, it was Cam Watson who was doing well coaching here, and
do we know
ended
why
up being relieved of his duties and replaced with David Chick, who steered them into the finals, alongside with Craig Filer alongside him. Those two gentlemen ending up at Green Gully this season. So the celebrations are ready to go over there on the far side. Looks like there's a few people have poured out of the social rooms.
And, of course, David Chick took Abdallah with him, didn't he? And he's been a very good goal scorer for Green Gully.
Yeah, he's found some form.
Saw him dominate a game against Avondale. They were very, very good that night. Avondale had a shocker, and there were 2 or 3 times where they just turned it over midfield, and Green Gully played as well as they played for some time. So David Chick doing a pretty good job there.
That was a scoreline that reverberated around the competition, and could they be in here for a fourth, perhaps? Eze running at Gassim. Just running out of ideas. Gassim putting it out of play. Well, there's been so much going on in Australian football this week that you can tie back. Aziz Beige scoring that incredible goal to get the Socceroos through. He played his football here for a little bit in 2010 between spells at that initial cameo at Melbourne Victory before he established himself as a star left back at Melbourne Heart. We also had the Matildas in action with Joe Montemuro, who was a coach of the men's team back here a few years ago. Well, going back a long time, got them promoted from the State 1. And Matildas also played Argentina, who were here training too. But it's full time, as I'll stop embellishing on those stories, Dan, because we've got a fantastic scoreline here for Hume City. A week of highs and lows. It ends in a high, and a high-pressure fixture. They suffer a few injuries and a suspension as well to Joseph Ford. But they come out of the game with 3 points. They'll have to check in tomorrow with the medical staff and see what sort of team they can put out on Tuesday night against Nunawading City in the Cup. But they're looking good for a top 6 spot now. And they'll actually jump up over Preston Lions as well if Heidelberg have managed to win. So that'll get them into 5th tonight on the ladder tonight, Dan. So they're looking good for finals football in 2025, despite the tumultuous coaching change as the Dandenong City players are hurrying down the tunnel for the warmth of the dressing room here. Well,
they certainly are. Look, they were pretty good tonight, Dandenong City, but I thought the disappointing aspect for them was they had 17 shots at goal and they weren't able to convert. Was I think they were a little bit lax in defence. They would allow the star attackers for the Hume City team, Steve, to be on their own on a couple of occasions. They didn't convert all the time, but they converted often enough for that scoreline of 3-0, including that one right on half-time where they seemed to switch off. They thought it was going to be half-time, and then Asheng gets injured, and it adds an extra 40 seconds onto the extra time, injury time, and I think they were unaware of that, and they thought that kick out of play by the goalkeeper, Clark, where I think he was just trying to bide some time, and then they scored that goal. And I think from then on the shoulders might have slumped a bit, realising that they were going to park the bus a bit, Hume, in the second half, which they did. They lost Ford, of course, through his second, 2 yellow cards within 5 minutes early in the second half. So they were down to 10 men, Hume City, but it seemed to galvanise them even more. They scored after that, and you just knew it was a stake in the heart for Dandenong City. So they'll be disappointed. but they certainly battled hard. But great win by Hume City under adversity. Lots of injuries too. That's the other issue that will obviously concern them going into the cup match this week against Nunawading. And then, of course, another round of football. It just doesn't stop, does it, in the World Game? So there'll be a few players that you'd think might be in a bit of trouble, not only for Tuesday's match, I would think highly unlikely for Tuesday's match, and depending when they're playing Friday or Saturday next week, may not even front up for next week, Steve.
Yeah, so they're lining up on Saturday. They're off to Paisley Park next week to take on the Altona Magic, and they've got some tricky fixtures coming up. They've got Heidelberg United, the league leaders as it stands on the live ladder tonight, Heidelberg United, and then South Melbourne the following week. So a tough run of fixtures. They have some easier fixtures to finish off. They'll play the bottom four in the final four home and away games, will Hume City. Dandenong City have a similar thing. They'll play the bottom three in the last three as well. So these sides, they've got some points to pick up at the end of the season, but some tough fixtures between now and then. Dandenong City, they'll make a trip to... so they'll be at home, as I mentioned, in the Cup on Tuesday against South. Then they'll be at home to Green Gully next Friday night. So it's a busy week as well for Dandy City with some injuries. And if Webster's going to be out, they'll get in Arbor and Sewell back from suspension. But if Webster is to be out for a little while, we'll keep an eye on what that injury is for him. A solid impact from Domfay. But it was. I think you summed it up well, though, Dan. That real sliding doors moment in the match was allowing Lloyd Isgrove that much space in the penalty area just on the stroke of half-time. It completely changed the game state in the second 45. But, yeah, what a performance from Hume City. Isgrove scoring that goal. The second half, they had to batten down the hatches into the wind. Forward sent off on 72 minutes. Within 90 seconds, Rob Harker had scored, set up well by Usal, the substitute, and then Usal set up by Kurta, who might be the man of the match for me, Burkhan and Kurta.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And a really good finish from a confident player coming off the bench. He might be in line for a start during the week. Mehmet Usal scoring a nice goal into the bottom corner there. But
I had Ford in the votes until he was sent off. I think maybe Reardon, he was very understated. And I think for Dandenong City, I thought Latham was terrific. He had a real crack. He got out the back a few times. A couple of times he was caught offside. But when they were pressing into the breeze in the first half, when they were playing constructive footy, very smart football, keeping it along the deck, he was the one down that right-hand side that was causing some problems with his pace. So maybe he gets a vote too.
I think absolutely right. Well, anyway, so it's been an entertaining night in cold conditions here, Dan. We've managed to survive it. Jordan, thank you behind the camera. You've done a great job. Chris, our stats man as well, thank you for keeping tabs on what was an open game, plenty of shots. And when you looked at those stats at the end, and Danny City 17 shots, thank you for your company, the viewer at home. It's a pleasure to have had your company, and we hope you're keeping warm. Throw on a log on the fire and put the kettle on, and you can go and enjoy plenty more NPL Victoria this weekend. And a big hello to Joel in East Geelong. We hope you're feeling better and having a good King's birthday weekend, and wish you a good long weekend as well, Dan.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure working with you, mate. I'd love to do it again, and thanks so much for having me. It's been wonderful.
Let's do it again soon. NPL Victoria Friday Night Football signing off from Nasiel Stadium. Dan Lonergan and myself, Steve Curtin. Thanks for your company. We're at full time. It is Hume City 3, Dandenong City 0. Good evening.